This is a Sandy Boy Productions podcast.
Welcome to the Urban Pharmacy Podcast, where we help women remove the overwhelm of living their most holistic life. This is the place to find evidence-based nutrition tactics, healthy lifestyle and wellness tips, abundance mindset, and easily implementable low-tox living strategies so you can rise up to your full potential and protect your family's health. I'm your host, Stacey Heine, certified holistic nutritionist and better living advocate. Now, let's get empowered with some simple swaps that make a big impact for optimal wellness. It's Holistic Hack Friday, and it is episode 23 of the Urban Pharmacy Podcast. And just in the last week, there has been some breaking news regarding sunscreens. And I want to be sure that you know about how to protect you and your family when it comes to using sunscreen. So as we head into the summer months, it's more important than ever to have a sunscreen on hand that you can trust, right? And unfortunately, a report from an independent laboratory called Valashore revealed last week that 27% of the sunscreen and after sun products that it tested contained benzene, a carcinogen, and unsettling many people when they read that review, right? And just so you know, benzene is found in plastics, gasoline, resins, synthetic fibers, rubber lubricants, dyes, detergents, drugs, and pesticides. And there is supposedly a, quote, safe amount. However, let me tell you a little bit more about this. Valashore is a pharmacy that batch tests medications before they reach consumers. And they tested 294 different batches of Sun's Care products from 69 different companies. And it found that 78 of the samples tested contained benzene. And benzene is, again, found in all of the products that I just said, but it is a substance that the CDC, the World Health Organization, and the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health defines as a carcinogen via inhalation, skin absorption, ingestion, and it from skin or eye contact. So what do we do about this, and how do we navigate what to find safer alternatives in, right? Well, what we need to do is first off, go to Valashore and check all of the brands that were tested and the ones that had benzene found in them. So you can do that. We will link that in the show notes. But I want to make sure that you know it's not just the chemical sunscreens, but it's also in some of the safer sunscreen brands that they found this. So you really need to be sure that you are looking at the list and you know how to navigate that. Now, benzene is associated with the development of blood cancers like leukemia, and as well as cancers of the lungs, GI tract, liver, ovaries, and breasts. So if you spot that your sunscreen is on the list, please stop using it. What do I want to tell you about how to find safer sunscreens? Well, first off, I want to make sure that you know to avoid the ingredients avobenzone, oxybenzone, octocrylene, homosalate, octisalate, and octinoxate, okay? Those are absorbed through the skin and get into the body, just like so many of our other personal care products, and they result in measurable blood levels. Oxybenzone has also been banned from Hawaii for its known issues to kill the coral reef. Now, in order to make sure that you are using a safer sunscreen, I do highly suggest that you go to the Environmental Working Group website. But I'm also going to just do a shameless plug today for the brand that I use and my family uses called Beauty Counter. So The sunscreen that we use, and I'm going to give you some tips on what to look for when it comes to safer, is from a B corporation called Beautycounter. They test rigorously. They screen, they triple screen. I mean, they are not messing around when it comes to ingredient selection, ingredient sourcing, and ingredient safety. Okay. It goes all the way down to the packaging that these products are packaged in, making sure that there are no harmful chemicals coming out of the plastics that might be used, or the packaging getting into the products and then getting into our bloodstream, because we're putting it on our largest organ, our skin, right? So what I look for when I am buying a safer sunscreen is the following: making sure that it is a mineral-based sunscreen and not a chemical-based sunscreen. Some of the chemicals that I just rattled off to you earlier are the ones that you want to avoid. So switch to a mineral-based sunscreen. I always look for a zinc sunscreen. And just making sure that when you are switching to a zinc oxide sunscreen or any mineral-based sunscreen, that it is a non-nano particle, meaning that that mineral is not going to be small enough in particle size to break through the skin barrier. And then it's going to sit on top and reflect the sun safely. Another thing that I always look for is to make sure that it's broad spectrum. I also always look for one that can block against blue light, which is one thing that I really love about Beautycounter's Counter Sun. I use the Daily Sheer Defense for face every single day. And then as an extra layer of protection during the summer, I will use the Dew Skin, which is a sheer tinted SPF. Super easy to match sheer skin because there's only 6 shades and they're very forgiving. I personally use the shade medium. If you know what I look like, then you can figure out what color would be best for you. But when we use the one on the body, the Counter Sun on the body, we use the mist. We have a mist, we have a lotion, we have a face stick, but we really love the mist for the body because it's an air-powered mist. And that's one other thing I want you to make sure that you're looking for as you're switching to safer sunscreens. Please don't buy the ones that are aerosol-based. They are terrible for your lungs, and you are inhaling the ingredients that are being sprayed. So make sure that you are buying an air-powered mist, okay, to protect not only you, but also protect the environment, because aerosol is not good for the environment. And then the last thing I would say to make sure that you are doing when it comes to choosing your safer sunscreen options is to definitely avoid fragrances. Fragrances are a code word basically for up to 3,500 other chemicals that could be put underneath that word. It's a trade secret in the beauty industry, and I want to be sure that you are protecting yourself and avoiding fragrances at all costs. That does not mean that you don't have to smell yummy. You can always use products that contain essential oils, or if it does have fragrance, it should have an asterisk by it and give you a list of the essential oils that are comprised within that word, right? Within that fragrance itself. So I hope that you find these tips helpful. Please be sure to check your sunscreen label. If you need any help with sunscreen, you can always contact me via Urban Pharmacy, the Urban Pharmacy via the contact tab, or you can catch me on Instagram at the Urban Pharmacy, HERBANFARMACY. And I am more than happy to help color match you, more than happy to help guide you with choosing safer skincare and cosmetics, and more than happy to have you as a collective voice if you would be interested in joining my team too. That is something very often left field, I know, and kind of came out of nowhere, but just so you know, that's an option too. If this sunscreen thing gets your blood boiling like it did mine, you should be a voice for change and let other people know how to switch to safer, and at the same time rise up with an industry that is going nowhere. The clean beauty industry is only going up, and it is something that you should consider being part of. I will see you next week. I hope that you take care and be well.
I'm over here cheering you on because you just finished another episode of The Urban Pharmacy. For today's show notes, head on over to theurbanpharmacy.com and be sure to join us inside our private Facebook group called The Urban Pharmacy, where we share inspiration, live trainings, and holistic living tips to help you build community, and the healthy lifestyle that you've always wanted. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button and please consider leaving us a 5-star review. Before we connect again on the next show, follow me on Instagram at The Urban Pharmacy. That's urban with an H and pharmacy with an F. And I can't wait to hear your wellness journey as we get to know each other better. You know, there's truly no better time than now to level up your life, and I am so proud of you for showing up today. Until next time, be well, Health Crusader.